The air in Washington, D.C. is thick with a tension that goes beyond politics. Inside the Pentagon and White House, a new kind of crisis is unfolding, one measured in metric tons and global supply chains. The United States, long a leader in industry and technology, faces a startling vulnerability. It lacks the raw materials needed for its future. This isn't about oil or gas, but critical minerals, the building blocks of the 21st century. America is dangerously dependent on foreign sources for these minerals. The technologies that define American strength, fighter jets, electric vehicles, server farms, and missile guidance systems, all rely on minerals like cobalt, lithium, nickel, and rare earth elements. Cobalt, lithium, nickel, rare earth elements. For decades, the US outsourced mining and processing, but now the geopolitical map has shifted. Countries controlling these resources aren't always allies, turning dependency into a strategic liability. Intelligence reports warn that a single mineral cutoff could halt military production or stall the green energy transition. This is the new battlefield: control over the elements that power modern life and defense. In the corridors of power, officials scramble for solutions, seeking security and stability over cost. America's economic prosperity, military readiness, and technological leadership are all at stake. The clock is ticking, and the search for a dependable partner has become a matter of national security. The answer, many now realize, may be closer to home than ever imagined. To grasp the crisis, you need to know the minerals themselves. Cobalt, lithium, and nickel, though not household names, are essential to batteries powering everything from smartphones to electric vehicles. Cobalt gives batteries stability and longevity. Lithium makes them rechargeable and lightweight. Nickel boosts energy density. Demand for these minerals is set to skyrocket as the world shifts away from fossil fuels. Their importance extends to national defense. Fighter jets need cobalt for high-performance alloys, and rare earth elements are vital for missile guidance and radar. Every sector, from healthcare to telecom, relies on these minerals. Any disruption creates a domino effect across the economy. America's power rests on materials it doesn't control, a vulnerability that keeps strategists up at night. The geography of critical minerals is at the heart of America's anxiety. Most are mined far from US shores, often in unstable regions. But the real choke point is processing, dominated by China. China refines the majority of the world's cobalt, giving it immense leverage over global markets. This dominance is no accident. It's the result of decades of strategic investment. Even if the US sources raw materials elsewhere, they often end up in China for processing. In a conflict, China could cut off supplies, crippling American industries overnight. Russia, too, is a major player, especially in nickel and palladium, adding another layer of risk. The US has effectively outsourced its security to its main rivals, a mistake now being urgently addressed. The COVID-19 pandemic exposed the fragility of global supply chains. Now, the same lesson applies to critical minerals. The era of prioritizing cheap, globalized production is over. Security and trust are the new priorities. America can't afford to be at the mercy of Beijing or Moscow. It needs a new plan and a new partner. That search is leading strategists north to its oldest ally. The solution to America's mineral crisis is emerging from an overlooked direction: Canada. Canada holds vast deposits of cobalt, nickel, lithium, graphite, and rare earth elements. What sets Canada apart is not just its geology, but its stability and transparent regulatory system. A North American supply chain anchored by Canada offers security and predictability. The Canadian government is moving fast, launching a critical minerals strategy to accelerate exploration and build new processing facilities. The goal: a complete, integrated North American supply chain, from mine to battery. For Canada, it's a generational economic opportunity. For the US, a secure and ethical source of vital materials. The US-Canada partnership is the ultimate expression of friendshoring, a solution that's been next door all along. This shared destiny is now shaping policy on both sides of the border. The US is funding Canadian mineral projects, even invoking the Defense Production Act to treat Canadian resources as part of its own industrial base. The calculus has changed. Security and reliability now outweigh the lowest cost. The Inflation Reduction Act steers billions toward North American minerals, reinforcing the alliance. This is about more than buying and selling. It's about building an integrated industrial ecosystem. Canadian mines will supply processing plants and battery factories across North America, creating a resilient supply chain. Together, the US and Canada can create a fortress North America for critical minerals. This partnership ensures uninterrupted supply for defense and industry, sending a clear message to rivals. The new alliance is reshaping the global balance of power and securing North America's future. Among all critical minerals, cobalt stands out for its strategic importance and fragile supply chain. The US has almost no domestic cobalt mining. Most comes from the Democratic Republic of Congo, plagued by instability and human rights abuses. After mining, most cobalt is shipped to China for refining, creating a two-step dependency. This is a nightmare scenario for US policymakers. One disruption could halt key industries. Canada's untapped cobalt reserves, especially in Ontario and Quebec, offer a solution. Canadian companies are building facilities to mine and refine cobalt entirely within North America. A secure, ethical, Congo-free, and China-free cobalt supply chain is now within reach. This is the key to breaking the current chokehold and securing America's technological future. Innovative Canadian companies are leading the charge to build this new supply chain. Fortune Minerals' NICO project aims to create a fully Canadian supply chain for cobalt sulfate, essential for EV batteries. Electra Battery Materials is opening North America's first cobalt refinery in Ontario, providing the missing link for local processing. In Quebec, companies like Lomo Metals are developing new deposits and building a complete battery ecosystem. These firms are building not just mines, but the infrastructure and workforce for a new economy. They're attracting investment from global automakers and battery manufacturers eager to de-risk their supply chains. Supported by US policies, these companies are moving fast. They are turning the vision of a secure North American mineral alliance into reality. Canada's appeal goes beyond its mineral wealth. It's about ethics and standards. Canadian mining is among the world's most regulated, with strict environmental laws and meaningful Indigenous consultation. This stands in stark contrast to the exploitative conditions in other regions. For automakers and tech giants, sourcing from Canada means clean, ethical supply chains. Canadian companies often partner with Indigenous communities, sharing benefits and ensuring sustainability. This ethical advantage is a core component of the US-Canada partnership. By aligning with Canada, the US promotes higher global standards and democratic values. This is more than a transaction. It's a partnership built on a shared vision for a responsible future. The path to a secure North American mineral supply chain is clear, but not without challenges. The US must treat Canada as a true partner, not just a supplier. There are calls for a formal US-Canada Minerals Pact to streamline regulations and guarantee reciprocal access. The current trade framework must be modernized to reflect this new reality. Canada has options. Other allies are eager for its ethically sourced minerals. The US cannot afford complacency. The window to lock in this partnership is now. By forging a strong, integrated alliance, the US can solve its mineral dependency and accelerate its green transition. This is about more than cobalt or lithium. It's about building a resilient fortress North America. The future will be built with these minerals, and it must be built together.